Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon. Today I'm going to be writing I'm going to be working on something new. So, let me fix my... There we are. Hopefully everyone's having a good night tonight. So, what are we working on? Well, we're going to be working on the preliminary notes of Project Eros. Now, you may be wondering, Project Eros? I thought there was going to be some problems there, or there's going to be some issues. Well, fun fact, all of this, gone. Gone. All of it's scrapped. Ugh. Well, and the reason for this is twofold. One, I couldn't actually get a solid amount of things in place for this game to make work. And I just couldn't get any information, anything I really wanted to make my original concept for Eros. But the problem with Eros was that it was so broad and so big that I couldn't find a good anchor for anything. And it just didn't work. So I asked people in various locations to find me an anchor, to find me something, anything, to base this next game off of. And they didn't. They did not. Very not much. They did not in the slightest. One of the issues is that settings of a particular nature don't really exist, or if they do, they've already been ported onto the table in one way or another. Hell, even things like Chinamen have been put on the table using Legends of the Five Rings hack. Things, just about anything like that has been put on, and even people are like, oh, just make Fatal again. I'm like, no, I'm not going to make Fatal. So I looked all night. I was trying to find something, anything. But something, the only thing a 2 a.m. The only thing a 2 a.m. delusion can produce. Something that when I realized that it was always right in front of me, and I realized what I needed to do, it was right there. We zoom in. Right there. Good Christian values. And effectively, if we go right here, actually if I delete everything, game about the idea of faith and good Christian values. And I thought about it for a bit, and I'm like, well, what makes something, dare I say, erotic? What makes something that you want to do things with? What makes it that way? And it's not, how best to word this? You're not going in there because it is. You're going in there because it's something you can't have. There's this immediate feeling of desire and want from something like that. And ask any woman, and they will tell you effectively that it is 200% more seductive to hint at what's there, to almost be there rather than bear everything, because that doesn't leave anything to the imagination. Now, of the people of the faith, one particular thing always ends up popping up, that being nuns. So I thought about it for a bit, my 2 a.m. delusions, and I thought about it for a second. I'm like, wait a second. Battle nuns. And I'm like, my God, Notepad, you and your 2 a.m. delusion self, you've come up with it. You've come up with the idea. So that's what this project's anchor was found, effectively. It was pretty much what this game is going to be, is, for lack of a better word, is good Christian values. The game, except, let's see. Grab one of these. my usual L format. And there we go. Because at the end of the day, what we're going to be dealing with is, quote, dealing with matters of the faith, with characters being explicitly religious in some manner. Now, my core idea is effectively, you are all characters, you are all members of the church, members of a, quote, religious organization, end quote, and your goal is to deal with demons and other otherworldly nightmares stalking the world. However, one thing that I kept hearing from people is that we don't really get that many modern games. Modern games don't really happen all that much. So I thought about it for a bit. I'm like, hey, what about this? What about a game which you're tasked, you as the church, you are tasked with fighting demons, monsters, and other problems, except it's 20XX. It's now. The problem is, with the lack of faith and with the advent of things like the smartphone and the lack of problems and issues inside of the church and such, we have an issue where vampires and werewolves and all those other nasty things out there, well, they don't really want to be seen because they don't want to get burnt at the stake. And it's very easy to find weaknesses when the gun exists. So the church has taken on more of a administration role. It's the church's job to make sure that Susie Vampire and Bob the Werewolf don't come to blows with each other, because Susie the Vampire is working her shitty 9-to-5 and hates her job and wants to really eat her neighbor, but she can't because that's illegal, and she now has to deliver her blood bags. Or the fucking werewolf, he's great with things. He's a great guy, great family. Why is there suddenly more werewolves, bro? Are you do not bite people. Do not do that. That's not very naughty of you. It's more of the idea of managing the supernatural population, dealing with problems that threaten the human world, the supernatural world, as well as the, dare I say, matters of higher importance. Pretty much, it's the church's job to make sure Armageddon doesn't happen. Make sure, when the angels don't come down and be like, hey, everybody, it's time for the rapture. It's like, no, it's not. Or it's like, hey, everyone, I'm Satan. Like, go home. So your job is more of an administration, more of a management, more of a, let's deal with, let's make sure everything, all the various worlds are actually keeping together and not trying to kill one another. And instead of, oh, I'm an evil, vile necromancer from beyond the grave, and I will raise an army of the undead, it's like, oh no, some dumbass, fucking decided that he wanted to raise Fido from the dead and use some ancient blood magic he found in his attic. And now Fido's running around town eating other small animals and making them undead. Shit, we have to kill Fido now. So this kind of the idea of a little bit more, you have to keep things under control while also being, part of it, but not. You're kind of you're in the middle part of everything, Heaven, hell, yeah, no, you're in the middle. You're the middleman, supernatural, completely natural, you're the middleman between it. You're the one who also has to make sure, the local, self-proclaimed witch hunter doesn't burn down Susie the Vampire's house because he just doesn't like her very much, because then all the other vampires in the area get very pissed. I'm also drinking tonight. So, world is modern. Okay, weapons to employ their miracles and to deal with threats. Main gameplay loop. is primarily one of investigation and discovery, while managing the convent, and the people under the church's protection. Come on, up, break. Ah, there we go. So, let's see. Gameplay loop, world. Okay, combat is going to be the main focus of the game. However, the main focus of the game, with a lot of nuance between various weapons and fighters, which also gave me the idea, which, give me 1 second, I'm going to put you right there. I'm dealing with matters of the faith, and that means I'm going to put you up there. Characters are actually, I should say, are fairly front-loaded, depending on their age, race, and something akin to a creed, like a class or something. Yeah, one of the very few times you'll ever see me debate adding a godforsaken class system, as I'm not usually the kind to do that, but I feel it's appropriate in this kind of game. Yeah, I got apple whiskey tonight. Very good. A lot better than I thought it was going to be. So, let's see. We want to do streaming notes. So, going purely off what I'm planning on doing, I'm roughly saying episodes are going to be around 5 if things go completely according to plan. Though I'll actually give myself a little bit of leeway, say 5 to 6. So that means if we keep things every other day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could probably get it done by mid-October. And that's if everything goes completely smoothly, which it rarely does. Oh, goodness. Wait, no, what I should do... Click on my Discord icon and say watch stream. I've been doing this so much, I still find it completely amazing. People just don't know how to, get to my stream. Or what I should do, actually. Here's the link. If that isn't working, here's a link if that isn't working. Alright. Okay, so... What I was thinking about doing is for up here mostly. Races. Actually, what I should do is character's age. A human character. This thing has to worry about age. As the older they are, they start with more experience, EXP, but have little in the way of improvement. Human characters, yes, very, very English. And so what I was thinking about the other races was something like vampires are primarily split between their own cloak classes, which determine their strengths and weaknesses. What do you even call a people like werewolves? The not werewolves. Wares? Lycanthropes? Is that it? No, lycanthrope isn't it. Werewolf, werepig, werepigeon. Actually, let's Google werepig. What do they call it? That's all I want to know. What do you call it? Okay, we're looking at the 5e. There, yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Ah, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for. The thing's coming up. Notepad. Hell yeah. They're anthropes. Mostly brute force. Actually, they're anthropes. Fall within a very specific category and can only really do that one quote thing, but do it exceedingly well. And what I was also thinking of doing, because I want to convince everyone that this is not just a perverted game, golem. Do I actually want to use the term golem, or a homunculus would be a Jewish. What are you, Mr. Anderson? Mr. Anderson, yeah, a regenerator. They say it. He's not quite human. I remember that. What is he? I know what he is. I'm trying to think, like, would it be a... What I'm trying to get across is that someone who is explicitly... only being... No, I meant to say it. Artificial, okay. Also, any place that says bayonet, like anything X mastery, like, stupid. I hate those. It's dumb. Alright. Because I was thinking about making something akin to a homunculus would probably be the most accurate term. Homunculus. Pretty much something created. So I'll give it to the. I'll give him put it in commas for right now. Golem, a character that has been exclusively crafted to be a member of the Executioners of the Holy Order of Adjudicators, words, something Alexander Anderson. Very specific, but we are working from ground zero here, folks. Yeah. If that wasn't already taken, I would totally use it, but yeah, effectively a Promethean. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm going to be killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Because if I type the word things when I meant to say things Notepad Anon wants to do, and if we go down here, the not copyrighted World of Darkness, bada bing, bada boom, I'm gonna kill 2 projects with 1 stone, because I can actually just reference this at a later time, using whatever I do here, because I am a genius. Duh. God. Be gone. Be gone, people pinging me on Discord for literally no reason. Yeah, so it's like if I can kill 2 things with 1 stone, like I think I'll be pretty alright. That, depending on how I actually want to do the system here, because fun fact, I'm going to have to completely change the system of how I originally wanted to do it. Because I'm like, oh, I'll just use Social Justice Warrior Ninja Turtles as the system. And I'm like, wow, Notepad, that's a horrible idea. Why would you ever think that? And then I self-flagellated by the sheer stupidity of that suggestion I made to myself. It was quite violent, but it was the only way for me to properly reprint the fact that I thought that. Because the fun fact, that system just doesn't have as much as I needed, and I didn't realize going into it initially of how bare bones Social Justice Warrior Ninja Turtles, or whatever the hell it's called, was, but it is the most bare bones system physically possible. There's nothing of value in it. Which brings me to the world is modern. Okay. Miracles would be divided either by the character's creed or their own innate abilities. Not innate. So effectively what this means is, if I actually fixed all of that, and what I mean by like a miracle, hi Zon. Yeah, no, here's so if you read earlier in the day, I had my emotional revelation at 2 a.m. this morning, because I don't sleep. And that emotional revelation said, hippity hoppity, we need battle nuns. And so I'm changing Eros' idea to everyone is playing cryptic battle nuns on a way to fight mysterious supernatural. Yes, son, battle nuns. Because again, the most erotic thing we can think about is something we cannot have. And we can't have sexy anime nuns. Because most nuns are in their 80s and very old, but very nice. Don't get me wrong, most nuns are actually incredibly nice. But not anime nuns. But my idea here is on, sorry, Mecha Girl, for having me to go over it again, but is that the characters are members of a order. I'm going to call them the Adjudicators for right now, because Adjudicator is like my favorite word. and it just means judge. And they are pretty much administrators of the supernatural and natural world. Pretty much in 20XX, because I remember everyone mentioning that we don't get a lot of modern settings, so I'm like, screw it, let's make this a modern setting to really amp up the oddities. Is the characters are there to pretty much moderate supernatural people from not screwing things up, as well as natural people from not interfering with them. It's to make sure that Bill the werewolf can work his 9 to 5, and making sure that he doesn't bite anyone to turn people into werewolves. You know, that's the power sharing agreement there. Like, we're okay as long as you're okay, and like, you only don't turn people into werewolves you don't need to, and like, get their consent, please. Like, see this little form here, and you sign this, and we're all happy. Hey, it's not, though. It's not, Zahn. That's the beautiful thing, is that none of this has to be. None of this has to be. I don't need to get bonked here. It's great. Because, again, the entire idea is that you are trying to manage pretty much your people in your general area and dealing with threats. So instead of evil necromancer tries to summon the land of the dead, it's some jackass kid accidentally rented a fucking the Necronomicon off Amazon and has raised his dog up. Raised Fido, and now Fido's running around town, devouring small animals and raising them from the dead. Sort it out, church. One of the other things, actually, let me see, the innate abilities, we see Control C, Control V, as I'm going to be stealing this from the older version, is, characters have a degree of purity, which reflects how, quote, noble and how noble and holy they are. So, and I'm going to be putting in things there like, if you are good Christian's values, never seen, I have never seen a woman before, monk man, you're going to have 100% purity, and that means you're going to be able to deal with things that are impure very easily. However, if you are the bad priest and generally kind of an asshole to everyone, and you drink, you fuck, you do all the naughty things you're not supposed to, you're going to have lower purity. But what I want to get across is that's not necessarily a bad thing. Being impure means you just get different miracles. You get different ideas for each of the various things you do. So there's going to be a holy and there's going to be an unholy method of doing things. Why don't I just keep it at 50 there, Notepad? Going neutral doesn't really get you much. Which I might throw in something to encourage you being neutral. But if you want to make it horny, you can. But you don't have to. Now, part of this is going to be explicitly, oh no, Father Johnson, I didn't see you there, takes habit off. And like, no part of it's going to be like that. It's all going to be however you horny little bastards, want to actually run it. So if you want to put that stuff in there, go for it. There's nothing stopping you. But if you just want to run an incredibly combat-heavy God-Man simulator as you punch demons to death, you can do it. It's great. It's a win-win. Degree of purity, which brings me to purity reflects. Purity gives characters bonuses / penalties to dealing with certain threats and casting miracles. Miracles will divide into characters' creed or their own innate ability. Like, what I think for miracles in the back of my head is would you believe me if I said no one's demanding this and I just decided this on myself? This is just one of my projects that I thought would be cool to do. Yeah, Zon. Sometimes I just write games for fun and not to get paid. Even though if you want to pay me, Zon, feel free, throw some money at me, please. God, that whiskey's so good. It's been a while since I had some good hard alcohol. And so, my idea for das wundervolle idea of miracles, let me open up, is a miracle is something big and impressive. No, Eros was not commissioned. This was entirely my idea. Hell, that's the entire reason I joined Loot Game Finder. It was to find information for this game. My idea for a miracle is pretty much as it sounds. Like, these are something big, they're impressive, they are entirely big, but I don't want them to be entirely offensive. I don't want a miracle to be, I cast magic missile! No, I want it to be, exorcise this fucking demon in front of me that's regenerating. Like, alright, everyone get your fucking rosaries out. It's time to beat the shit out of Satan. So it's, again, I don't want it to be necessarily magic, nor do I want it to be necessarily like you never use them. So I want to find that nice midpoint. I have a few ideas. I might be using something akin to, dare I say it, something almost like psionics tier, kind of like very much based on your personality and where your purity is and various other things. Oh God. Why is everyone making weird? Oh God, don't trust the human beings on Discord. What I mean by creed is, again, I was thinking about making a class system for this game. That might work, that might not. I don't know how I would want to do it, but which brings me over here, actually. I'm going to put it right here. Combat is going to have to be incredibly violent, as well as incredibly detailed. Going to have to write notepads. Vault of sharp objects, which is effectively a Song of Swords. I'm just gonna have to write my own version of Song of Swords to make it make the combat the way I would want it to be. Let's see if I actually. Which also brings me to the archaic weapons. Do we maybe want something like low equipment list, but each weapon is incredibly detailed and personal. You don't change your weapon. You just augment it to do what you want it to do. So I'm probably going to have to reference Bloodborne? Am I going to have to reference fucking Bloodborne for this? Yeah, I'm going to have to reference fucking Bloodborne. And that means I could probably use a stamina combat system, which brings me... Actually means if I'm doing that, I can have a stamina combat system, question mark. Got the reference on swords a little bit, but I think I can make it work. There we go. Going to have to add systems for keeping maybe like a sanity system. Sanity in check. Not quite sanity, but effectively what I want to do is I want to encourage relationships and camaraderie among the adjudicators. Not necessarily sexual in nature, but simply a deep bond of companionship. I want these guys to be friends. Something like morphing weapons, yeah. I'm gonna need to put in something like that. Because pretty much what I want to get across is the idea that, let's say I have a sword. I have a big fuck-off sword. That is my weapon. I don't want someone to be like, okay, well, my sword isn't as effective now. Toss sword away, grab bigger, more impressive sword like that. I want that to be your weapon and be able to change things with it. So morphing weapons may be in, but I may do something more akin to, oh, hey, I need this sword to do more damage, so I'm going to change something or make a miracle or something on it to make it do more damage, or I'm going to extend it, or I'm going to make it invisible so no one can see that I'm bringing a great sword into Walmart. Just something akin to that idea. And I'm going to have to use a stamina-based combat system. That's gonna be just a given, but I can make it work. Let's see. Characters will also be responsible for their congregation, i.e. all the other fuck-ups and weirdos that rely on them. So it's managing relations, and that's where that's where the natural gameplay comes in, is you managing with your congregation. So you want to make sure, again, Vampire Sally doesn't get pissed off and do something stupid or get herself hurt, or to make sure Werewolf Bill doesn't do Werewolf Bill things and decide he really wants to eat the neighbor's dog or something. Like, that's not what you want. You want to make sure that everyone's in check and, have them help you effectively, because they are part of your congregation. They are your problem. This is looking big. Hell yeah, it's looking big, but I can make it work. Alright. This may seem like a lot, but it's actually not that much. Let's... Because I already have something akin to a stamina system. Karma system? Okay. So, overall, I think the big issues... Well, there's going to be 3 issues. My first major issue is going to be this. But I'm kind of putting it all under one, because if I get one section done, it's done. I don't want to worry about it. This is going to be fairly simple once it actually works. This is going to be the tough part right here. Like this note right here. Getting the combat to work the way I want, it's going to be a bit difficult, but I have a stamina system already in place. I have that stamina system through Table Talk Online. That already is there, so I don't have to worry about it as much. And since it's there, I don't gotta, it's just getting these 2 things to function right. The other big issue, if I scroll up a little bit, is how detailed I want to go into this. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to make this green, is all of these are all together. What I may do is just cut these and just leave humans. But I want to get across being like, hey, yeah, no, you want to play your 1,000-year-old lolly vampire? Go for it. I cannot stop you. But I want to give it... You have to give it due process effectively. You can't just say that's how it works. Someone's going to want to have their special cool powers for being a 2,000-year-old lolly vampire. The other major issue I'm looking at's right up here. The purity and karma system. This is going to be mostly dealing with how I want to handle miracles. Like, all of this is all together. Like, these are all, it's kind of their issues. Because my big fear with this game is that it's going to be very clunky and there's going to be a lot of moving parts. I don't want that as much. I just want the moving parts to primarily be in combat. Now, you may notice, like, I'm not really caring about this because I already kind of have systems in place for stuff like this. Like, congregation is going to be fairly easy, being this because I can just use the let me go to the lexicon. I already have this system in place, and there's just going to be some rewriting at the end of the day, which is the relationship web, and kind of getting the congregation in and the relationships kind of in order, and giving them kind of a little bit more mechanical backing. You want people to be close to the congregation, kind of rely on it a little bit more, versus them, leaving the congregation, them kind of going rogue a little bit with you don't have as much, idea or tracking of them. So you don't want someone to lose the faith, which them losing the faith is very bad because they no longer rely on you, and them not relying on you means that you have to check on them a little bit more subtly, i.e., oh God. But I already have that kind of in place, so I'm not too worried about it. This is going to be a simple system. Again, I might tie sanity to something like karma and stuff like this, so I don't like this might be linked together there. This looks very messy, but it all makes complete sense to me, and I'm the only person that matters. So what system do I want to use for this? That's the second question. Well, I have a few options of how I want to handle system-wise for this. Easiest answer is to rely on good old-fashioned 3d6. Honestly, that's the easiest answer, but I am not the one for easy answers. Oh, no. I always like going for something new, and I'll probably look around. I did a D20 game, my last project, Wadanahara and the Great Blue Sea. Before that, I did a dice pool system. Yeah, it was dice. Was it dice pool? I believe it was dice pool. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember. Greg Grug happened. But I might see what I can do. I might see if I can't play around with some ideas. Maybe experiment. Maybe use the D2000 system again, but maybe that's a little bit too crunchy for something like this. Welcome back, Zon. I'm just as you see the mess I have produced. I've identified my problem areas, and it's mostly going to be a process of working on those problem areas. And right now, I need to work on. Right now, I need to work on kind of like step 0 of this is. I always sound drunk. Like. My big issue I have to deal with right now is I need the core system. And as I was ranting at Sachiko earlier, I don't want to do a D20 system because that seems a little bit... I already did a D20 system, so I don't really want to do another one so quickly. Easiest method is to go for a D6 dice pool system, however, that I've done so goddamn many of those. And none of the other systems I've already done can't quite work. Like the D2000 does not. That is too crunchy for this game, so I don't want this game to be uber tuper crunchy. So I might reference some other games and see what I can find to kind of play on, do some more unique things with it. As again, I always like experimenting. If you have any suggestions, as always, feel free to recommend anything. I'm a man of many talents. But overall, right now, things are looking pretty decent compared to last night where I had nothing. Now I actually have something, and something that actually works. It's not 3d6. Don't want to use Notepad D20. Is there another system that I can use? Thinky. I haven't done a D100 system. I already used technically a D100 system. To the lexicon. Yeah, this is these are a combination of literally all my notes and just various other things I've developed over time. Just so I can get things across a lot smoother. I might actually reference do-it-yourself magic again. Not gonna lie. Ain't going... Oh, jeez. This is gonna come in handy the next project, these two, but... Let's see, that's a skill-based system, dice list, D20, D6, but a little bit odd. Actually, no, that's stacking dice, dice pool, D10, 3D10s. That's entirely fucking weird. This D6s, though, they are D10s. You're a stacking dice system. You're a D20 system, but it's more Pendragon-esque. D20... Dice pool, stacking. You were a dice pool. Yeah, you're a dice pool. You're a basic. You're a dice pool, right? I'm not going insane. No, it's just a D10 system. Alright. Nice and simple. So, their D6 system... That's a 2D6 system. Tainted Bloodlines D2000. And that's 3D6. Alright. So, I might experiment a little bit and see what I can find. See what actually really works and really sings. And from there, I'll see what I can make work. If anything, I can do something like a D8 system, maybe? D8s are swingy, though. Oh, God. That's a good whiskey. So, let's think. Top of my head, what's a good system that... Oh, God. Alright, you know what? I think I'm going to call it here for today. We streamed for about an hour. Not a very long stream, but it was mostly me just looking at my notes and redoing all my notes to really get them down on screen more than anything, and to get the idea across. So if we begin this in proper, it'll be probably this Friday. We'll start Eros properly. And depending on how things... No, Jojo, I forgo my humanity. As I get the basic notes across, probably, again, if I'm making my estimates correct, I'll probably be, if things go swimmingly, 5 to 6 episodes. If things do not go well, yeah, if things definitely do not go reference, things are going to go a lot worse and probably even go upwards of 8, but I just need to get up to that stance more than anything. Once I get up there, I think I'll be fine. I can make a JoJo reference all I want. This is my stream, damn it. Let's see. Yeah, alright. I'm going to call it here. Thank you all for viewing. I know this wasn't exactly the most exciting, pulse-pounding, exciting stream ever, but this is what I do. This is what you come for, is to listen to my sweet, sultry voice, talk to your ear, and drink. And so, Godspeed, good luck. Hope everyone has a good day. And well, my neighbor isn't wearing pants. That's great. I didn't want to see my neighbor not wear pants. So, Godspeed, good luck, and get me the fuck out of this hell.